Okay, this is Ruben Lowing. I'm here in McAllen, Texas, right before the Super Bowl. I been binge watching videos. Been getting a lot of financial advisors and consultants talking about the Biden plan to offer a 26% tax credit instead of the tax deduction on 401k contributions. And it's an across the board 26% tax credit. Interesting. And so everybody's saying if you are in a lower tax bracket, then it makes sense for you to, instead of investing in a qualified plan, a 401k, to invest into a Roth IRA. And nobody's talking about life insurance, which has the same tax advantages, but also living benefits and protection that you don't get in a Roth IRA. It's killing two birds with one stone, right? Like you're leveraging your premium to get a tax-free death benefit for your heirs if something happens to you. Where in a Roth IRA, you're limited to $6,000 a year unless you're over 51, and then you get $7,000 a year to catch up. Okay, so the limit on insurance is based on your income. If you're W-2, you can be insured for 10 times your income. If you are self-employed, you can be insured for 20 times your income. Okay, and so you can get a bigger bucket of tax-free money. There you go. All right. So I go to my associate who wrote a book, Sheep Among Wolves, right? And he's gone through the Blue Book and the Workbook and other books, and this is a faith-based financial information book. So I'm going to read it and give him some feedback. But I finally got him to commit to getting his license. So I gotta send him the process. He already ordered the study material, and I explained to him that pretty much what you see in the practice test is going to be on the license exam for ExamFX. It's a good program. All right, it's a little pitch for ExamFX, a little pitch for my buddy for Sheep Among Wolves in his book, but also, and I explained to him why things are the way they are with the market and what's going on. Back in 2008, after the crash, advisors for hedge funds and pension plans started looking for companies, the same thing they always do: smart CEOs, smart board of advisors, making good decisions, good supply chain management, market into the emerging markets, but low debt and lots of capital. And Paul Dietrich said there would be a bifurcation in the market. Those who had it together, they were going to take off. Those who weren't going to fall off the face of the earth. Okay, and then came this last January 2000, was the repo crisis, and what that was big banks losing faith in the consumer because of the assets or the treasuries that they were buying for overnight purchasing, were they didn't like them because they were used car loans. And because last year in January the Chinese stopped buying internal combustion engine automobiles, they went straight electric, and that put all the car, U.S. car manufacturers, the Japanese and the Germans, they had to totally retool, and they're now making electric cars to compete with Tesla. And they were thinking that people were just going to park their cars along the highway and put their keys up over the visor and walk away from the cars like they did their houses in 2008. And because of that irrational type of thinking, more people kept putting their money in the market because they stopped trusting the banks. They were worried that the banks were going to fold on each other. And that's why the market's up. But also, these corporations stopped trusting the banks, and they're worried that they may not get finances, so they're buying up their own stock. That's why the market's taken off. And all these talking heads, they don't understand why. Well, that's why. I'm telling you why. And I'm telling you why from what I learned in this business, going to training with people like Paul Dietrich and other people that, knew what they're talking about, right? And that's why these index policies with the market protection and the tax advantages. See, when you're looking at your assets, you're like, what's most important to you? Is it your rate of return? Is it the tax consequences or liquidity? What's most important to you? And you got to figure out, you got to check the boxes, and whatever's going to come up with the most boxes checked is what you need to answer. All right. Enjoy the Super Bowl.